Aman, I will say, especially in Rapid and Blitz, especially in this format, there is a very, very high likelihood both players involved in a match against Magnus Carlsen, both players involved in a match when Magnus is playing, know who's going to win. I have a feeling
Right.
Jose probably had a good idea about who was going to win this match, but he started very well, and then he couldn't quite catch up. He was 4-2, and since then, Aman, it has not been close.
Yep. That's the reality, which, as you said, might not be a total surprise to either of these players. Round of 16, first round of the Speedchess Championship, always has a mismatch. And let's be honest, and we saw Jose Martinez, he's made it into the SCC before, but he played against Hikaru Nakamura. Now he's playing against Magnus Carlsen. I mean, it just doesn't get easier. Those first round matchups, you can, barely get into the event before you're knocked out right away. So it's really tough to go up against these 3,400 blitz titans.
But credit to Jose, as we have said, the scoreline doesn't reflect maybe how close it's been. It feels like it should be a 5-6 point lead for Magnus rather than 8, but that's life. That's sort of how it goes. Here's another, by the way, good position for Jose, and he's been down to fight. He's put on some really, really interesting games for us. So we cheer for the underdog here.
Yeah, and we cheer for King Walks. Those have been really entertaining to watch, and honestly, for good reason. Magnus hasn't been as savvy navigating them because, it's just madness. The king is in the middle of nowhere. It's so hard to properly understand what the best moves are. It's not a standard position at all.
Well, you could just go h4, g3, h4, king h2, king h3, but I don't think it's going to work here. And this is looking quite unpleasant.
Yeah.
And 18 seconds now, I'm on. Even the commentators are a little bit stunned by how little time is remaining on the clock. It's a difficult shift.
Yeah, it really is. And it just looks like one of those positions that, look at this, by the way. Absolutely leaving the G2 pawn hanging. Magnus defends the knight, which is all you need. You get one move, and all of a sudden, bishop h3.
Yeah, the rook goes forward. He's looking for counterplay. f7 does look quite nice. It's hanging, but c4 is brutal, sealing the position shut. Now we hit the queen.
Yep.
Knight e2 would be nice. Not quite.
Yeah, but then you start to think about ways to maybe remove that queen, and h4, bishop h3, queen g5. You've at least got the knight here, if not more.
Yeah, he'll be picking up the knight. He doesn't even have to take it, but he does. Whoa.
What a great position to be in,
Queen h5 is nasty. That was the only defense. Yeah, queen h1 mate was a nice trick. Now queen d1, rook f2, it's all over.
Yeah, he actually assumed that he would have been giving checkmate because, well, if he missed queen h5, then queen h1 is basically mate. So that's always a cold shower when it happens.
Okay, we're going to get a little bit of a more boring game this time around. Just a small positional advantage for white. The A and B pawns versus the A and C pawns. Those pawns are a bit split. But I expect an absolute masterpiece in this game for Magnus. And it's already starting him on.
Yep. There's no doubt when you have the A pawn and C pawn split up like this, it's all about controlling the squares in front of them. So the C5 square, the C4 square, the A4 square, and every single move that we've seen has basically had that in mind.
Yep. Rook c4 is nice. You're going to double up maybe. I do wonder if he regrets allowing such a strong position, but for black. But I really get the sense that he's quite close to breaking through here. Rook d1, e4, just push the knight back.
Yep. G3 is preparing e4 by covering knight to f4. And yeah, as you said, rook d1 or rook c1 up next.
That does not look like it meets the demands of the position, the move h5. Okay. Oh. You would think king e6 is nice. Yep.
Okay. I definitely think that e4, I am kind of waiting for that move. The bishop on b2, I have to say, I'd rather have it on d2 or e3. So I'm waiting for this piece to reposition.
Or just bulldoze the center. Get it active like that.
Agreed. You know, now that I see this position, it's looking great on b2.
We need a king walk. Jospim's problem is it's been 23 moves and he hasn't moved his king.
Yeah, he's tried to take a step forward, immediately kicked back. Look at the pieces, though. The rook on h8 is a non-participant. Rook on a6 is barely there. This is all Magnus Carlsen. Is this the clinic that you were anticipating?
Yeah, for sure. He had a little bit of positional advantage to work with in the beginning of the game. Now g7 is tender, knight e6 is looking good. It's nice to try to guess his moves. Like f5 guarding h4 is what I actually thought he was going to play. Turns out it's not a good move.
Okay, bishop g7 followed by f6 here.
That's nice, yeah.
Is that an idea? I guess there is rook d6, so not so sure.
Rook d6 is nice.
Yeah, rook d6 is actually a really, really important move. Kind of changes everything. Bishop e5, rook g7.
Rook g7, knight e6, f6, f6.
Yeah, this is trouble.
It's game over.
Yeah, knight c3 is also covered by the bishop, so there's no good option here.
That's just mate. That is quite literally the worst option.
Hey, you absolutely take those. I was waiting for king to g2 there. That was a pretty significant moment.
Wow, 2-2. Look at this. The bullet players so far, the favorites, not up to par, I would say. I mean, the Ali Reza bullet segment was very dramatic. Unfortunately, he won the match in some 10 games, but
yep. It just goes to show you have to be that complete player, and these top players, they are vulnerable in this bullet section, but you just need to be competitive in one of the other sections even, right? Just to give yourself a chance ultimately at the final result, because here, despite his success, it still feels like it's just not in doubt. It's not close.
At this point, the players have fun. Magnus this game played in Alekhine's defense, just surveying every single opening. And that is nice. I mean, when you have a win in your back pocket and you just get to survey different openings and play different structures, it's quite fun. Wouldn't say I recommend it for aspiring players. It can be a little bit tough to play 10 different openings in one setting, but
the wrong thing to get used to.
Yeah. But Magnus is able to do a d4 clean move. Might be heading to a early endgame.
Wow.
Or we might get mated. That also is a possibility.
Because I guess you have... I was going to say, bishop f5 is a bit strange. I thought maybe simply queen takes d4, but also queen e4 check.
Okay,
Gotta like the position here.
Clearly something went a bit wrong there.
Yeah, at this point, look, you're doubling rooks on the d file maybe. You're playing b3, king b2, just slowly organizing things, king c3, b4. This is definitely in Jose Martinez's favor. Bishop f3, I like.
Yeah, rook d5, rook b5. I was maybe trying to put a bishop on c4 as well. He's playing very nice. He's playing super GM level chess. Just small improvements. Nothing too quick.
Yeah, there's also bishop b6 as an idea.
I'm just
to try to pick off the a pawn. Every move from Jospim is just fantastic.
I was wondering if bishop h5 before bishop f3 was better or worse, like forcing the pawn here, but it's kind of the same situation. And
right.
Oh!
Okay, there is no tricky move there, but it is opposite bishops.
But this should be
king
easy
c3. Okay.
Wow, Magnus plays it. He understands that the opposite colored bishop endgame is holdable. What?
Because of bishop c6 and then e4.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness! He's gonna play without the piece. And where was bishop e4? Why didn't he play bishop e4?
Oh, he lost the bishop. Oh my gosh!
What a trick! And my face was the same as Jose Martinez there. It's just, oh, you dog, you! How did you get me again with that?
Just amazing, honestly. To have the presence of mind, Amon, to understand you can just trade the rooks into the bishop endgame. He deserves it. I mean, it's sickening. Excellent defending.